Okay folks, we're back today. It's the 15th of May. Kevin can't be with us at the moment. He's finishing off his last bit of spring barley sowing. We're in some of his winter wheat, the JB Diego, some of the stuff that was a little less advanced the last day. Since we've been here, it has got its T1, which was the 2 litres of Trioris and Varian. Slightly different growth regulator program on this to the advanced crop. This would have got what I would say would be our normal approach. It got a very early K2 to try and thicken out the crop earlier on, which it was quite thin coming out of the winter. There was a little bit of concern, but as we look around, it's planted out extremely well, so it did a good job. We followed with a T0 on this particular crop, which was a litre of Bravo, and we also gave it another litre of Psychocell and 0.2 of Modus. His more advanced wheat had gone beyond the T0 stage, so we went straight to a T1 and we used Modus at a higher rate. But this crop of wheat has planted out extremely well. It's JB Diego, it's pretty much spotless. The T1 has done a good job. We actually have leaf 2, the second last leaf, just emerging. I'm going to speculate that we're possibly 2 weeks still, 10 days to 2 weeks away from putting on a flag leaf spray. The earlier crop is a lot closer. We've looked at a number of options. We've decided on a 2-way tank mix based on costings. We're going to go Trioris again at 2 litres, and we're going to go Opus Team, which is a mixture of epoxyconazole and Corbel. When we did the costings on that, it was coming out quite favourable compared to the likes of a Dexar plus Bravo or some of the other newer products out there. Now there's very little between them really, but there is a slight advantage in this programme on costing. As I said, overall, very happy with the crop. Would have been a tad concerned about it, as we discussed earlier when we were here in very early spring before we started filming, but it has paid. It has been a good choice on Kevin's part to persist with planting in the autumn. I'm going to go so far as to say I think this crop looks like it has very, very good potential. It's clean. We've a great job done on regulation. There's an extremely stiff base to it. This crop may not need any late turple. It depends what way growth falls. There's currently all of the nitrogen on the crop, 180 units. I'd have good expectations for this crop in terms of yield. With regards to nutrition on wheat, and everybody's familiar with me at this stage, consistently talking about foliar nutrition and reducing stress, the most important secondary nutrient at this stage is possibly magnesium. Magnesium gives you increased levels of photosynthesis, which gives you increased levels of yield, basically, because magnesium is central to the chlorophyll molecule. It's quite difficult to see in wheat. It's easier to see in barley, and it involves looking through a leaf like that into the sun. But in the background I can just about make out a symptom that's called beading of the chlorophyll. What that means is the chlorophyll is slightly low on its level, which means it's kind of coming together in little clumps in the background of the leaf. The leaf is still green, but as I look through it I can see the chlorophyll is slightly reduced. There'd be a long-standing practice in winter wheat, and indeed it should happen in all cereal crops, to top up your magnesium levels late in play to get increased levels of chlorophyll and hence photosynthesis. Historically that tended to happen on the head spray. I don't wait that long. Magnesium is highly mobile in the plant, so when this gets its flag leaf spray, it will also get 1 litre per hectare of sulfamag. It's only a quarter of a rate. It's a mixture of magnesium and sulfur. All you're doing is injecting an extra bit of nutrition into the plant through a foliar application that will keep the plant greener longer. The longer it's green, the more it photosynthesizes, the greater the yield it gets. And I said that's a key difference between barley and wheat, in that the barley, as I have said, is sink limited, the wheat is source limited. The longer you can keep this crop green and photosynthesizing, the greater the yield. And at the very end of its grain fill period, wheat can put on another 0.2 tonnes per hectare per day. So for a couple of euros spent on sulfamag, you can get phenomenal dividends. So with the flag leaf spray, top up your magnesium at that stage. Don't wait for the head spray.